name is Stanley. I'm a rising junior and I go to Archbishop Midi High School. And the project I worked on for the past 3 weeks was the smart mirror. So basically what a smart mirror is, it's like a two-way mirror with a screen that can display both information from the back and is also clear on the other side. And it also allows people to see through the mirror, and the display is going to come from a monitor attached to the back of the mirror. So while working on the project, I set a few milestones for myself. The first of which was to turn on the Raspberry Pi and make sure the display was working. I found a GitHub page that had a lot of third-party modules for the smart mirror. And so basically what these modules are, they're like pre-written codes that can allow you to display different things on the smart mirror. And the modules I chose were the default one, which basically can display the date, the time, some upcoming holidays, or the news. And then I also added several other ones myself, including like a stock module and also a countdown module. I didn't really have that much trouble installing these modules, but I guess I did encounter several syntax errors that took a lot of my hours away while building this project. And the next milestone was building the mirror frame. So the material I chose to build this mirror frame was wood. This is because I thought it was, I guess, the nicest looking material, and also because it's a lot more durable than other materials. So I used a wood cutting machine that we had at our house to cut the wood into 45-degree angles, as you guys can see in the top right. And I was able to cut the wood with no problem, and I used some wood glue to glue the pieces of wood together. And my final milestone was attaching the monitor and the Raspberry Pi to the mirror. And since I had to attach the monitor and Raspberry Pi to the back of the mirror, I had to consider like the thickness of the mirror. But luckily for me, both the Raspberry Pi and the monitor were both around the same thickness. So I used a piece of wood, a nail to the back of the mirror, to keep the monitor and Raspberry Pi in place. Well, an issue I encountered while attaching the monitor and the Raspberry Pi in the back were the wires were way too messy. So to solve that, I just ordered some, I guess, shorter wires and some more convenient ones where it didn't make it like messy at all. And after finishing that, I kind of wanted to add a modification to that, and I wanted to add a voice control module. So there's a USB microphone that's plugged into the Raspberry Pi, and there's also a speaker coming from the monitor. And I was hoping that I could be able to talk to Raspberry Pi, and it would also respond back. After doing some work following the Google Assistant tutorial, I was able to, I guess, talk to the monitor by holding down the Enter key on my keyboard, and it was also able to respond back. The only issue was that it was a bit like less convenient because every time I wanted to talk to the monitor, I'd have to, I guess, hold down a key on my keyboard. So in the future, I was hoping to maybe incorporate it into the smart mirror and maybe just like have like another solution other than using a keyboard. But other than that, I thought the project was pretty successful, um, and I think I liked the result. Originally, I didn't really have that much experience in engineering, but after building the smart mirror, I feel like I gained a lot of useful information, and I really enjoyed it. And thanks for listening. Feel free to ask any questions.